Hello friends, today we will see another programming example. Now in this question we have to print this pattern, and this pattern depends on the number of times the user wants to print it. For example, if user types the value of n as 4, it will print up till here. So it will print 4 rows. So how to print this pattern? In order to print this pattern, it is not only enough to print the stars, we also have to take care of the spaces. I told you in the earlier questions that by default the cursor blinks at the top left corner of the screen. So, but the first star, as you can see, is printed here. So there are spaces in between. So how to bring that cursor here? For that we need to print some blank spaces initially, and then we will print one star, and then we will go to the next line. Again we need to print the required number of spaces first, then we will print the required number of stars, then we will go to the next line. So like that we will do it. Now if suppose user enters the value of n as 8, we will print 8 rows correspondingly like that, and the spaces will be generated like that. So one thing I want to tell you is, in this question, if you can see, the first line contains 1 star, second line contains 3 stars, third line contains 5 stars, which is 2 into 3 minus 1, which is 6 minus 1, which is 5. So if n equal to 4, the fourth row contains 7 stars, which is 2 into 4 minus 1, 8 minus 1, which is 7. So that is the logic which we are going to use in this question. We will first print the number of spaces, then we will print the number of stars. But firstly we'll see where are the spaces. So we'll mark the spaces first. I'll mark the spaces with dots. Okay, so as you can see in this line, suppose the user has entered the value of n as 4, that means we have to print these 4 lines. So at the last line there is no space, there is no requirement of space. At the second last line there is one space. At the third last line there are two spaces, and at the fourth last line or the first line there are three spaces. So as you can see, it is the spaces itself, the printing of the spaces itself is kind of an inverted triangle, the pattern which we did in our earlier videos. So we can use that logic and print that space. So first we need, now see, if we print the space, we also need to print the star, because if the cursor comes down to the next line, we cannot, and suppose we did not print the star and the cursor came down to the next line, we cannot go back to this line and print star. So we have to print the stars, the required number of stars, and then only come to the next line, then print the star spaces, and then the stars, again come back to the next line. So that is how we have to do. And the remaining spaces we don't need to bother, because after printing the stars we'll directly come to the next line, start printing the spaces again and the stars again. So we don't need to bother about the spaces to the right of the pattern, we only need to bother about the spaces to the left of the pattern, because we need to shift the cursor to the required position to print the star at that position. So we will start writing the program, but before that I'll tell you that we require actually 3 loops in this question. Why 3 loops? Because one loop will take care of the number of rows, that is the I loop, which we already know, it always takes care of the number of rows, and the I loop will always go down vertically, it is taking care of the number of rows. The J loop, as I've told you earlier also, it takes care of the number of columns or the number of stars to be printed in each row. So the J loop, it will take care of the number of stars that you will print in each row, and it will go like this. But fine, but then in this question we will require another loop which will take care of the number of spaces to be printed in each row. Means there will be another loop which is K loop, which will tell us how many spaces you have to print in one particular row, in one particular value of I. So that will be K. So K will take care of the number of spaces to print. We will start doing our program and try to understand the logic accordingly. So we will start our program, hash include stdio.h. Then we will write, we'll open the main function, we'll take variables, now we will take the input from the user, so we will tell the user to provide the value of n. Now we will accept. Now we have taken the number of rows the user wants to print. Now we need to start the I loop. The I loop will take care of the number of rows that we are actually printing. Suppose in this question user has taken the value of n as 4, but you can take any value, it's up to the user. So now we have started the I loop. So I loop will take care of the number of rows. Now the first thing we need to print is the number of spaces in each row. So in order to print the number of spaces in each row, I told you that we need a k loop. So we will design the k loop like this. Now we have designed the k loop like this. For k is equal to n, k is greater than I, k minus minus, which means k will start with the value n, it will go up till I, and it will decrement it by 1 at each step. Now how will this work? We'll just finish writing this. Printf space. So now this is how we are printing the spaces. Now how we are doing it is, first time here the n value is 4, first time k will be 4. Now we have written k greater than I, which means I is 1, so k will go k minus minus, so k will go from 4 3 2 because and 1, so it will be 4 3 2 1. It will not print because the condition is k greater than I, 1 is not greater than 1, only 2 is greater than 1. So 4 3 2, 3 spaces will be printed in the first row. In the second row I will be 2, so k will be n first, which is 4, and it is k greater than I, which is 4 and 3. So 4 and 3 are greater than 2, so it will print 2 spaces. Now when it will come to k minus minus and it will become 2, it will not print a space because 2 is not greater than 2. The condition will be terminated here itself, so it will print 2 spaces in this line. Next time I will be 3 and k will be from n to I, which means 4 to 4 itself. So it will print space only one time, because when it will be 3, I is already 3 here. So is k greater than I, is 3 greater than 3, which is false. So only for fourth condition, for k equal to 4, the condition will be true and it will print only one space. We will see the dry run exactly. So after printing the spaces, we will print the number of stars. Printf star. Now here we close the j loop. So now what we have done in the j loop is, j we have started from 1, so after printing the spaces we know how many stars to print, and j takes care of the number of stars to be printed in each row. So we know in the first row we have to print only one star, so we have taken the value of j as 1, and it will go from 1 to 2 into I minus 1. First time the value of I is 1, so it will be 2 into 1 minus 1, which is 1. So it will print only one star. We have taken less than or equal to, so that means it will start from 1 and it will print exactly one star in the first row. In the second row the value of I is 2, so j will start from 1 and it will go up to 2 into I minus 1, which is 2 into 2 minus 1, which is 3. So it will print exactly 3 stars. On the next line it will print 5 stars. So it will go accordingly and it will print according to the value of I which will be present at that row. So accordingly that many stars will be generated. Now after the j loop and before closing the I loop, we have to write one more statement. See, we have printed the number of spaces in one row. We have also printed the number of stars in one row, but then the cursor is still here. So we need to bring it to the next line so that it prints the spaces again and then the stars again. So for that we will write printf \n to bring it to the next line. And then we will close the I loop. Then we'll simply write and here we close our main function. So I will explain you this program once again. What we are doing is, first we are printing the number of rows. First there is I loop which is taking care of the number of rows. So I loop will tell us how many rows we have to print. That's it. It will go from 1 to n. That's it. Next is the k loop. K loop will tell us the number of spaces we have to print. So as we can see, we will count in the first row there are 3 spaces. So we have run the k loop from n to greater than I. That means it will go from it will exactly, so first time the value of I is 1 and we know value of n is 4, so it will go from 4 to 1 excluding 1, means it will go 4 3 2. That's it. It will print 3 spaces and then it will wait for us to do what to do next. So we will run a j loop now, and each time at the same line j loop will only print that many number of stars as we want the number of stars to print. So if it is the first row, the j will be 1 and then it will be 2 into I minus 1. That means it will go from 1 to 2 into 1 minus 1, which is 1. So 1 to 1 only 1 star. So accordingly in the second row also the same thing will happen. So this is how you print this thing. We'll just take an example and we'll try to trace out. Suppose we are printing this third row. The user has given the value of n as 4. So in the third row the value of I will be 3. What will happen is, first of all I will be 3. Now k loop will start. So what will happen is k will be equal to n, which is 4. K greater than I is 4 greater than 3, yes, which is true. It will come inside and it will print a space. Suppose this is the computer screen, it will just print a space here, that's all, and the cursor will come to this position. Now what will happen is, again it will do k minus minus, which is 4 minus 1, which is 3. Now again it will check if is k greater than I is 3 greater than 3, which is false. So it will come out of this k loop. Now it will encounter a j loop, j equal to 1. So j will be initialized to 1. So here we have assumed that 2 rows have already been printed and we are printing the third row. Okay, so j will start from 1 and it will say j less than equal to 2 into I minus 1. So is 1 less than equal to 2 into 3 minus 1, which is 5. Is j less than equal to 5, which is true. So it will print a star there. Again what it will do is, it will do j plus plus 2. Again it will check is 2 less than equal to 5, which is true. So again it will print a star. Again it will do j plus plus, which is 3. It will check is 3 less than equal to 5, again true. It will print a star. Again it will go to the next, it will increment j. It will again check is 4 less than equal to 5, yes true. So it will again print a star. Again it will do j plus plus, which is 5. It will check is 5 less than equal to 5, yes true. So it will again print a star. So it will print 5 stars in the third row. See here, there is one space and there are 5 stars. So in all the rows it will do the same thing and the logic will be same. So it will accordingly print this pattern according to the user's wish. How many rows the user wants to print, it will print it. So that's all. I hope you understood this pattern. Try out more patterns and try to write your programs on your own. Meanwhile, if you have any doubt about this question, you can post your comments and I'll try to answer all your questions. Okay guys, all the best and thank you, thanks for watching.